Good day, everyone. My name is Matthijs de Vries, co-founder and CTO of Alliance Block. And today I'm going to talk about something else, data. The current state of the data economy. I want to speak about how we can power a revolution of the data economy. What's the current state of the data economy? It's a $3 trillion industry, but the data, who owns the data has the power. And a vast amount of this data, it's owned by a select few of very large corporations. And if we combine our knowledge and capabilities, we could share in this power. And we can do this if we focus on these three things. Collaboration, where we can work together to enhance the quality of the data sets and its metadata. Through standardization for an easier way of integrating this data, and through a transparent rewarding model for those that contribute to the quality of this data. And if we want to have a good adoption for this new data economy, we need to accommodate enterprises. And enterprises, they need a lot of things, but three of these things are really, really important: reliable, fast, scalable, powerful infrastructure, especially also when working with other enterprises together. They need standardization for easy integration of these data sets, and they need inherent GDPR compliance at its core of this ecosystem. For the current status of the landscape, of the data landscape, is very fractured. Data sets are everywhere, thus they are nowhere. Data sets in all kinds of formats, so it's really a pain to integrate this perfectly in existing systems. You can have one system where you focus on a single data set, and then when you want to extend this system, you need to either rewrite a lot of your code again in another way to accommodate this new data set, or converse this data set completely to accommodate your system. So longer time to market, a lot of costs, inefficient process, basically. So for SMEs, in order to deal with all these things, if they want to monetize their data, it's a very high barrier. And if we look at SMEs, every organization nowadays, one way or another, consciously, unconsciously, is generating data. And no matter how obscure this data is, there is always somebody out there that can use this data. But it's very hard to monetize this data as an SME, because if you want to have it standardized, if you want to have it compliant, it's a lot of cost involved. And this is why there is a need for a revolutionary marketplace where this data is easily uploadable, whether it's programmatically or manually, regardless of what kind of file type it is, and so that it will be automatically converted into a generalized format, and where the metadata is automatically extracted based on the context of the data itself. Then for consumers, it's very important that this data that can be found on this marketplace is predictable, so that it can be easily integrated into a system, as easy as the next one and the next one and the next one. So for contributors, it's very important that if they contribute to the enhancement of the quality of these data sets, that they are rewarded fairly and that this is recorded transparently. So I propose that we do this in a decentralized way, that all the action of the contributors are recorded on-chain, so that they are guaranteed a fair amount of the revenue that is generated by consuming these data sets. And if we speak about contributors, what does it actually mean? So let's focus on metadata for a moment, because metadata is still an often neglected area in this field. And the value we can see here, if you take a single data point in a data set, the data point is called points. We know that from the context that it's a number, sometimes it can be empty, but what does points really mean? We cannot see this just from this metadata. So if we have a community of contributors that are able, from the context of the data itself, from where this data was sourced from, can deeply describe this data, like we see here with categories, tags, descriptions, we can develop a system that can go through all this metadata of all these obscured, now available data sets that were previously siloed and locked away in service for nobody to access. We can find connections between data sets that we've never seen before, thus driving innovations for use cases that we don't know that exist today. And to wrap up, if we go from siloed data sets, we enhance its metadata, we can come to a system where we can drive innovation. And with Alliance Block today, we have that with the data tunnel, where we have this revolutionary marketplace, which is based on reputation, on-chain, a reward distribution model, royalty-based, on-chain, which allows contributors to be fairly rewarded for their work and allows this to happen to kickstart the new data economy. Thank you.